Hello, Mark Red Larson for the Dream Catcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Nicky Yazbeck. Welcome, Nicky.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast. So Nicky, a little bit of background. We were just talking. You're from Colorado, but little bit more about Nicky.
Well, I was born in South Africa, so I've come a long way from like my
You
my roots,
have.
but I've lived all over the place. But I love Colorado. We've been here 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? Why did you choose Colorado from South Africa?
Well, so we moved from South Africa when I was 5, and I grew up in Alabama, and then I've just
Okay.
kind of lived in 8 states, and I've been to like a million different countries. But
Wow.
Colorado, I kept coming for work, and I just fell in love with it. And actually, I had this moment. Here's the moment. I was in the Bay Area. I was in San Francisco, and I came to Colorado for work, and I was in Whole Foods, and I was checking out, and the checker was like super slow. And so
Okay.
the things were going by and it was like, "Doot,
So
doot,"
yeah, I know
and I
that is
and I was
certainly.
losing my mind. I was
Uh,
losing my mind. I'm like, "Oh my god, hurry up. What's wrong with you?" And then I took a step back and I'm like, "What is wrong with me? Like this is really like there's something wrong." And I'm dysregulated, and I realized how dysregulated I was in that moment. And that was kind of the beginning of wanting to move here, and I felt like in California I was in my car all day long,
I
and it
bet.
was getting really aggro, and that was an example of like, "Oh, these people in Colorado are like living it correctly, and I'm the one that's out of alignment."
Yes. So where
Mhm.
at in California did you live?
I lived in Oakland and Emeryville, and I really,
Yeah.
really loved it. But it was that thing about being in the car all day
Yeah,
long,
it
and
is. Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't deal.
No, I love California. I mean, I do. I love San Diego. I just like California. But you're sitting in the freeway or doing, commute time is just and that's not living.
Yes.
But no, I mean, Colorado's awesome. So what do you do in Colorado?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So what do you do?
Oh, what do I do? I am a licensed therapist. So I do online virtual therapy with people. I've been a yoga teacher for like 25 years. That's something
Wow.
I just do on the side, not so much anymore.
Okay.
And then my strange thing is that I serve Kambo frog medicine, which is this little magic medicine from this little bitty frog from the Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that and I had to look that up because I had never heard of that. So how did you find out about that?
So in my community, somebody was saying that they served it, and I thought that's super weird. And I'm always game for like trying different things.
Uh-huh.
And I had my first experience with this girl, and it was really profound. And I came out of that, and I was like, I have to serve this. I have to study this. I have to know everything about this medicine. I want to use this medicine
Okay.
a lot. It just reset my nervous system.
Really?
It was like somebody pushed a button on my nervous system, and my whole nervous system reset. And so I started learning more about it and working with it more, and it's just super powerful. And it sounds super woo, and I'm a very
Uh-huh.
like logical, grounded, um,
Mhm.
science-based person with some woo thrown in there.
Yeah,
But if
sounds
you
good.
look up combo frog medicine, it's like Kambo. There's
Ugh,
tons of science that backs it up. So
wow.
there's peptides in it, bioactive peptides
Okay,
in it
awesome.
that are like
Okay.
really good for our body.
Yep.
And so, as strange as it sounds, it's backed by science and it's legal. So it sounds, I mean,
It's
people
even
think like,
better, huh?
yes, it's legal, and it's not an easy experience. And so, the fact that people keep coming back for it is a testament to
There's
how
a
much it
lot.
works because it's a difficult medicine to sit with.
So what's the process? How if somebody comes to you with that, I
Yeah.
mean, what is the process for if they're after
Yeah.
they initially contact you on that?
Well, I go through all their medications and just make sure
Okay,
that they're safe and that there's not any indications and look at their health.
sure.
And then I talk about like what their intention is. And so it works with pain, it works with depression, it works with PTSD, it works with all
Wow,
these different things. It resets your gut health, it can help with your nervous system.
amazing.
And so you put these superficial burns on the body. And so it doesn't create a blood or anything, but it's just like a little burn
Okay,
to get it to go into the body and like work in through the lymphatic system.
interesting,
And then
okay.
you apply this medicine into those little burn sites, those little dots, we call them gates. And then instantly within 30 seconds, they feel the medicine. And so it's really, when I say it's
Wow.
difficult to sit with, a lot of people can vomit. There's you have blood pressure fluctuations. Your body can fluctuate. Like there's all these
Okay.
sensations, and
Okay.
so it feels like really intense, awful flu, and so it's difficult to sit with.
Yeah, I bet.
But the next day, like after somebody sleeps and they have 8 hours of rest and they wake up the next day, that's when they'll notice the benefits. And it could be something like I went home. This is the last one I just got from a couple days ago. This girl said
Okay.
she went home and she usually can only tolerate her family for 3 days or something like
Okay.
that. And she was there for a week and she realized that all the things that normally trigger her weren't triggering her. And so
Wow.
it's not like I wake up and I'm a different person and
Sure.
everything's like bright and
Right.
shiny, but it's things like that. Or I've been carrying around pain in my neck for like the last 6 months and now it's gone. Like so like it just disappeared or it resets somebody's gut. And so then like food digests a little bit better. And it's one of these weird medicines that kind of goes where it needs to go. So it works
Excellent.
differently for all
Okay.
different people. Um, and so I went down to Peru to the Amazon to meet the
Okay.
frog, and I wanted to make sure that what we were doing was ethical and it wasn't getting
Right.
harmed
Yes.
and that it was kind of doing it with our permission, and so that was really important to me, and so I went, into the jungle, and, like, when you feel like it took us 3.5 hours to find this little creature,
A while.
and then to say, like, that I came back with 200, mosquito bites all over my body is, like, an understatement.
That's you. Wow.
And then to extract it, like, to get it from the frog, and then to just see the process, that made me have a lot of reverence for this little creature. So, yeah, that's my frog medicine story.
That is amazing. So I have a question. My wife has a lot of pain because she had 11 years ago, she had intense chemo from colon cancer that was pretty much everywhere.
Mhm.
Do you ever do like something that treating people with, like my wife, with the pain left over still after all these years? Would that be
Yeah.
that would work with? Or
It could, and I would be careful of anybody that says, like, "Yes, 100% for
sure,
sure."
that makes sense.
But yeah, it definitely could. Like, I've seen pain just disappear, and the guy that trained me was working with this athlete, this professional football player that had pain, and he went to everybody and couldn't get any relief for the pain, and then he
Wow.
came to
Okay.
Kambo and did, like, 3 sessions within a short amount of time, and it cured his pain, and sometimes that can last, 4 to 6 months.
Well, quite a while.
And sometimes it might last a shorter amount of time, but I never wanna, like, promise anything because you never know.
No, we're all individuals and everybody. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So how do people find you to do this with you?
Well, I'm in Colorado, so people can
Okay.
find me on my website. It's like, NickyYyoga.com, like, so it's a NICKYY and then
Okay.
YOGA, 3 Ys.
Okay.
But the Tribal Detox is where I was trained, and so if somebody's in another part of the world, they can go to tribaldetox.com and look for providers in their area. It is magic, like, it really, really is magic. There's more and more people doing it. It's really important to find a practitioner that has been really well trained,
Sure. Yes. You bet.
because it can be dangerous if somebody's not well trained.
Definitely want to
Uh,
have them well trained.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so Tribal Detox does an incredible job of training their practitioners, and I feel like anybody that's gone through that training would be a safe bet.
Okay. Wow. I mean, do you have a certain amount of people you work with, or just anybody comes to you and you do like
Yeah.
vetting to see if they're a good candidate?
Yeah, definitely. Well, so my primary role, like my primary job is as a
Mhm.
therapist online. And so this combo is something I do on the side. And it has
Okay.
been,
Okay.
like last year I served like over 50 people. So a lot of
That's
people are
huge.
coming. Yeah. And so it's something I do on the side. And now I'm starting to take like 2 people at a time. And I might end up having to take more people at a time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's because it's a long it's at least a 2-hour process
Wow. It is
for
quite a
people to
while.
come in. Yeah, I just wanna, there's things we do on the front end, but, like, you're only sitting with the medicine part for,
Okay.
say, 30 to 45 minutes, and then the difficult part of that is maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
So if you think and it's a hella process to go through, but then if you think, "Well, I can get through that," then the long-term benefm
Right.
outweigh the 20 minutes of discomfort.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because the unrelenting pain. Yeah, you would almost do anything. No, my gosh. So is this not, I mean, I always ask on the Dreamcatcher podcast, when you were growing up, I mean, what did you want to be? Is it something like this?
No. I mean, I when I was little, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then as I got older, people kept coming to me and telling me their problems, and so that I think that's where I kind of wanted to be a therapist, and that's, what I'm doing now. I think, when you're a kid and everyone comes to you and they share their problems, you think you're an expert.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But yeah, I mean, I wanted to work with I think a lot of kids wanna be a vet when they're little
I
because you
think
just
so
wanna
too.
hang out with animals, right?
Yep, I know my sister. My sister, oh, she loves horses, and at one time she had 9, so she should have become a vet just to take care of them, so,
Right, right.
but so do you speak in front of people about this, or how do I mean, you have your own podcast?
I have my own podcast, yeah, and then I've done some on Kambo. I've done, I think, 4 on this topic,
Okay,
where, like, one, we dove really, really deep into the science. My husband is trained in Kambo as well, and he has a medical
okay,
background, and so he dives into the science behind why it works, and then we dive into, like, one about the process and what that looks like because it's a pretty intense process, and people need to be ready for it.
okay,
Um, but it's so beautiful and I feel like the mental health benefits are really pretty big with this medicine too. Like it
okay,
can really clear old patterns that we've been holding on to or like whatever it is that that intention is. But I get a lot of like for me it's a nervous system reset. So when I feel
okay,
like everything's off kilter and maybe the news and social media has me just kind of like wonky,
can do that.
then that's a way I can come back to myself and my body and come back to home or like clear out any emotions that don't serve me or clear out any like it just kind of clears out my system and
Okay,
there's a misconception that it's a detox and that you need to get sick. I would say about half the people get sick and half don't.
okay,
But it's not a detox in that way. The point of it is to get these peptides from this frog. And
okay.
so these
Peptides are good.
peptides are what heals us and what
Okay,
heals all the different dimensions of our body.
okay. So do you have an age group, or I mean, do you do children?
No, so I'll work with 18 to 70 and it's
Okay,
contraindicated after 70 and then I really look at everybody's medication. So if you have low blood pressure,
yeah,
combo can be really great for that. If you have high blood pressure, then or sorry, that's the opposite. If you have high blood pressure, it can be really good for that. If you
okay,
have
agree with
low
you.
blood pressure, we can work with that unless you're on a medication for it, and then it's contraindicated. And so you just want to make sure like people don't have heart problems, like there's no epilepsy or
Yeah,
seizures, like there's all this. So there's a little bit of a medical screening, and then there's a screening around like what medications they might be taking, just to make sure they're not
yeah, some
contraindicated.
interactions, yeah. So do you do this at do you have a clinic, or where do you do the actual procedure?
Yes, I do it out of my house, and so that's
Okay,
one reason I need to like really vet people and make sure I
yeah.
trust them and they're coming into my
Yeah,
home and
especially in today's world, yeah.
yeah, so it's pretty intimate. I think it's getting to the point where I might need to do it in another space soon. But yeah, I'll do it out in my home and it's just
Okay.
like a really cozy setting. I want people to get really comfortable and let their walls down
Yeah.
when they sit with me. But yeah, it's beautiful.
So that is awesome. So where do you want this to be like in 5 years? Where would you like it to be?
I mean, my husband and I'm in the mental health sector. I'm really a strong proponent of plant medicine, and this is an
Okay.
amphibian medicine, so just like alternative medicines.
Uh-huh.
And then my husband is a nurse practitioner. He's going back and working with like psych MP
Oh,
and
wow.
so we would like to open a clinic where people can come and work with us to get off of traditional pharmaceuticals, if at all possible,
Amen.
using alternative methods, using therapy, and we'd like to do it with the team. So maybe there's a massage therapist, and maybe there's,
That sounds like a good
a,
deal. That
a
sounds great.
naturopath, and yeah,
Yeah.
and so everyone has their own gifts, and then working with plant medicine, working with amphibian medicine, and then working with like my husband does IFS, I do EMDR. They're different modalities for therapy, and just kind of
Okay.
whoever comes in working with what they present with at that time and making it really individualized. So
Okay.
maybe they need body work, maybe they need to work with a dietitian, maybe they need to work with a naturopath, maybe they need to stay on their medications. Like that's fine too, but
Yeah.
seeing what we can do to get them more in
Sure, that
alignment
makes
with their
sense.
true self and their like bring them back into their body and bring back their mental health.
So do you have you found a certain age group or a certain is male, female more than another as your client?
I have a lot of men. I have a lot of women too. I think
Okay.
for some reason men really a lot of men tend to want female therapists. Which is interesting to me. And then I have a lot of men, a lot of women. I do a lot with trauma, a lot of complex
Yeah,
trauma,
yeah.
PTSD, sexual abuse, physical abuse. I think, and then
Wow.
I think we as a society have mislabeled trauma. So when we say trauma, people feel like it needs to be something really severe.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're all walking around with trauma or
Yes.
these like
Yes.
even like, the conditioning that our family,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, when you're growing
unconsciously
up. Yes.
layers on
Yes.
us
Yes.
is can be trauma or
Mhm.
teacher, maybe they say that we're stupid or they label us, and then we take that on,
You
and that
do,
can
you
be trauma too.
yeah, and very much, and I see a lot of people like that, in school or where the teacher said and they believe it, that I'm dumb, or whatever it is, and,
Mhm.
I think that's awesome that you're working with that too, so do you speak in front of people about this besides your podcast?
I don't. Yeah, I just have my
Okay,
podcast. Yeah.
okay. But nothing on stage yet, or would you ever wanna do that?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
I prefer the platform of the podcast. I don't know if I would I don't know. I haven't really thought much about that.
okay. So are there I mean, with all what you're doing, I mean, you said you're a clinical social worker too?
Yeah, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I'm licensed in Arizona, Colorado, and Massachusetts.
Okay. So does that I mean, what do you do exactly? I think I probably know what you do, but what do you do exactly as that profession?
I really like EMDR. It's eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's a really it's the most scientifically backed method for treating trauma, and that's why they use it with veterans.
Oh,
And it's
really?
using eye movements to repattern and reprocess traumatic events and experiences or maladaptive thoughts like I am stupid, right? Where do we pick
Right,
that
right.
up?
Okay.
I also am a psychodynamic therapist. And so, what I believe is that everything is rooted in our childhood. Like I just said, so we
Yep,
go back and we figure out, well, where was it? Where does this thought come from? Oh, yeah, in second grade, your teacher said you were stupid and you
yep,
swallowed that whole and you believe it.
yep.
And so, like, let's break that apart and see if we can. That's an old belief, and so maybe we can reprocess that and come up with some more adaptive thoughts around
Yes,
that.
yes.
And so I do a lot of shadow work. I do a lot of like,
Okay.
let's work with the unconscious. Let's work with your triggers. Let's work with the parts that we're not seeing very clearly.
Right.
Um, and then some somatic work, getting people
Okay.
into their body
Yep.
and getting them to feel and experience and get these things out because our body holds on to trauma. So like let's get it out of our body.
Yes.
Um, and then, if people have plant medicine experiences, it can help with integrating that and understanding that. But I
Oh,
think all in all, it's like, what do we need to do to bring ourselves home? Because we're
yes.
doing these things like people pleasing. And when
Yep.
we do that, we're abandoning ourselves. So, like, how do we step in ourselves and use our voice and figure out like who we are authentically underneath all of the layers of
Yes.
society?
Yes,
And so,
yes.
that's my goal, and then I have a lot of different ways that I bring that out.
Sure, I suppose you're sure it depends on the person too, but I
Mhm.
mean, that is, so wonderful because we all are kind of walking wounded, there's always I mean, I think some people are easier they cover it more than, and you don't know it, but I always say everybody's gone through something, everybody's going through something, and, people a lot of times internalize that, like you were saying, and then they don't catch their dreams. They don't do their dreams because they don't think they're worth it or there's some reason. And I love that you are working towards helping those people.
Mm.
So do you and your husband work together then on this?
We want
Okay.
to. We
Okay.
team really well together, like, we bring out the best in each other, and we kind of fill holes for each other when it comes
Right.
to, like, our styles, and our styles are really different.
Hmm.
And so we definitely want to work together, but that's, a couple years down the road where we
Good.
can build kind of what we're looking to build.
Okay. And you're in Denver, is that right?
Yeah, just outside of Denver.
Okay. Okay. Denver. I mean, That's a nice area. That's a fast growing area. My gosh, there's so many people out there anymore. So, so do you ever want to go back? Would you ever want to go down back to where you were at to find the? I mean, do you travel? I should say.
I travel a lot. Yes, I
Do you? Okay.
travel. Yeah, I really like international travel. It's something that my
Okay.
parents kind of started doing with me, and we do it with my little boy too. And so,
Nice.
I yeah, there was like a time uh between 32 and 34
Uh
when
huh.
I quit my job and sold all my belongings and I backpacked around the world for 2 years by myself.
Wow.
And so that is just a kind of a part of my soul. And I just went to Peru last October and I'm going again in June. And so it's just like international travel is a passion of mine. I really like being immersed in other cultures that are
Too.
completely different than our own.
Yes. I mean, oh, so would you do what you did? You backpacking? Would you do that again? Repeat that? I mean,
I mean, if I didn't have a kid, 100%.
okay.
But my little boy's 12 and we need to make a living and be
Yeah.
responsible. And so
So when he
yeah.
gets a little older, maybe the whole family can go along? I mean, what an
Yeah,
educational experience.
he's been
Uh,
to like 8 countries already. He's
wow.
traveled with us, and so, I feel like it's important for me because, like, I mean, obviously, this is privilege to be able to do this,
Mhm.
but, I want him to see how other cultures
Yes.
live and how they have so much less than us and how it's so different and to learn from them, and, like, we're all different colors and we have different backgrounds and
Yes.
religions and things like that, and so that's important to our family.
It's very important. It's the best education, because you never know until you go there what it's actually gonna be like until you're there. So,
Mhm.
so you have any trips lined up right now?
Yeah, in June, I'm taking a group of there's gonna be 9 women, and we're gonna go to Peru, and we're gonna work with this medicine holder.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. We're gonna be doing a sweat lodge, and he's gonna teach us about the Andean culture,
Nice.
and we'll work with some of the practices there. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Very neat. And didn't you say the other day the people in Peru were really, really, really friendly, or I think it was some of your favorite people or something?
I love Peru. I just really love the culture. The food's
Okay.
incredible.
Okay.
I
Okay.
found the people really beautiful, but I feel like the land is just really special. There's something about the mountains and the land that spoke
I
to
would love
me.
that. I mean, that is just, no traveling it. So you're gonna be doing a retreat then, is that what you're talking about then with these?
I'm not leading it, so I have somebody else leading it, and I'm just
Okay,
kind of taking some people with me. It's like I wanted to do it,
gotcha.
and I'm like, "Come along with me,"
That sounds like a good deal.
and work with this guy. Yeah, and so these women are coming, and it's we're all really excited about it. It's going to be 8 days.
Okay, so if you take the women, do your men take a does he do a retreat? Or does he?
Yeah, my husband is unable to his schedule right now, he's, like, working full time and in school full
Oh,
time, and he's doing a
that
bunch of trainings.
that'd be tough.
So he's thinking about going in May on doing a solo trip,
Okay.
for a week or 2, and then I'm going in June, and so I'm gonna be going with these women, and we're talking about, maybe in 2027 doing a mixed group with men and women and taking going back to
Oh,
this,
that would be awesome.
this teacher in Peru and working with him and with a larger mixed group.
Very keep me informed on that. That sounds really interesting. I mean, I think that would be so interesting. So, do you like to write? Do you write anything, or have you written a book?
There was a time when I thought about writing a book and I was writing a lot, journaling a lot
Sure.
about
Okay.
when
Okay.
I backpacked for 2 years by myself, but I feel like, yeah, there's something about I don't think I am interested in writing a book. I feel like everybody's writing books right now
But it
too.
seems like yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of wanting to spread um my goal is just to find a way for like however I'm supposed to do this to like just bring people back to themselves. I'm not sure if it's through podcasts or retreats or opening a
Yeah. Well,
retreat
then, yeah.
center or working individually with people,
Yep.
but like however I can help people come home to themselves and find themselves again. I feel like we're like a planet of lost souls
Oh,
wandering around
yes.
and not that I'm like woke because I don't think you ever
Yeah.
completely wake up and I would
Mhm.
never say that. I feel like we're works in progress
Amen.
and I feel like when we stop stop doing the work is when we fall asleep. We always need to continue on this path
Yes.
of self-improvement and self-exploration, and when we stop, then things get stagnant.
Yeah, and I see so many people do that to get, out of school or a certain age, and it's like, well, I've learned everything I need to learn, and I just it's like, oh, there's always something to learn. Keep learning, and I think it keeps you young too. So, do you do any local things in Denver, the Denver area, then for what you do? Is that you? Well, I'm sure you were. That's where you were,
Um,
but like a retreat or meetings or anything like that.
I have, like, a women's group that I hold out of my house that I
Okay.
run, like, once a month with a pretty
Okay.
large community.
Nice.
And then through that, people have found this frog medicine, and it's mostly word of mouth, and so that's coming
Okay.
to me, and I kinda fit that in, and I'll keep holes in my schedule so I can still create space for
Do
that because
the
I love it.
okay.
Yeah, and so I do a lot of, like, things with women in the
Mhm.
community,
Okay.
um, right now, but not anything, like, on a big, huge level.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
still do? Are you teaching yoga still?
I'm doing privates. I'm kind of weaning down from that. The studios are ridiculous what they pay yoga teachers
Really?
with their expectations. Yeah, it's pretty obscene actually. It's the most, and I've got 25 years of teaching experience, I think,
Okay.
like, is I don't know, $50 a class, and the class is an hour, and then you need to drive to it, and people keep you
Wow.
after, and so you're
Not
looking
worth
at, like, 2 hours of time, plus you need to, plan it
Yeah.
out and create music and things like that, and so, I really loved it, like, I loved teaching big
Yeah.
classes, and I felt like I was making a big impact,
Sure,
but then
yeah.
there was also this piece around, like, not feeling valued for our time as and for
Yeah.
our
Doesn't sound like it.
experience. And then during COVID, there was, like, studios were opening and closing by the
I
minute,
bet.
and
Yeah.
so I just got burned out on studios closing that I was a part of. It kept happening over and over again, and
Mm,
so now I'm doing privates, and I'm kind of moving out of that and moving more um, into the therapy piece, into the
okay.
frog medicine piece, into that, yeah.
Excellent. So, on your downtime, it sounds like you're on do you do a lot of things. What do you enjoy when you're in your downtime? I mean, do you
I love being outside. So like I can be so happy if you just throw me outside or if I have
with
like a
you?
garden tool, I can be out there and I can get lost for hours. And so
Yes.
just being in sunshine and being outside makes my soul
Me too.
happy.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
the sunshine is wonderful. So do you have a big garden?
I have a garden. I have a pretty big garden. I'm like, we're in the city, so I have like a pretty private we have a lot of trees in our yard and it's a small lot, but we have
Okay.
two big vegetable gardens.
Nice.
But we're in Colorado, so that gives you about 6 months.
Yeah, that is true. You are limited on how long you can do that. So,
Mhm.
I mean, what's one of your favorite things to grow? I mean, vegetable wise.
I think tomatoes are the easiest, and my kid, like, he just walks past the bush and just eats everything off of the
Really? Oh,
bush, and
that's
so that makes me
awesome.
so happy. He's, like, always in the garden eating everything before it
Excellent.
even gets to the table, but tomatoes are so easy.
Yeah, and I would not have been that way. I mean, I've ate a tomato, but not that way.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that he does it that way.
He'll
So,
eat the kale. He'll eat, like, the cilantro and the basil and
uh,
yeah, I'm like, "Wow, that's insane."
yeah, because some of those are, you definitely know you're eating them,
Yeah,
to say the
yeah.
least. No, so Nikki, so what else is going on? I mean, in your life before we end the podcast.
I mean, that's like a lot of it. I mean, I'm family oriented, so my family's really important to me. My community of like women that I'm a part of, that's really important to me. And I feel passionate about people finding community. So if
Yes.
anybody ever wants to create, because they'll say, I don't have community. I'm like, well, then create it. And if people
Yeah,
ever
exactly.
want to know how to do that, like I'm happy to mentor people in that way because I think community is so important. And I feel like
Yes.
find a place and find people where you can like drop the mask and you can drop in. And so what I like
Yes.
about my community of friends is when I ask them, "How are you?" I
Mhm.
actually want to know
Yes, yes, I
and
hear you.
I want them to like skip all the BS or, "Oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
Everything's great."
the
And like,
yeah,
"No,
the
really. Like, how are you and what's going on and how's your family and like how are you
yeah,
doing?" And then when people ask me now when I'm in my community like, "How are you?" I'll like drop in and give them a real answer
It's
versus my neighbors on the street, like, "Ah, how are you?" As they're walking
yeah,
and they don't really care about the answer. It's like,
yeah,
okay, good, right?
yeah, yeah,
But,
like,
like, find people where you can really be you and real and that they actually care and wanna know.
amen. No, and I think that is definitely lacking, at least in the United States, with the no connection, and, well, they don't even they think they have a connection with their phones, but, I think I'm glad I grew up before that was as prevalent as it is now,
Mm,
and, it is a tool, but I just see so many people that's their connection to the world, and,
mm.
there's so many things they're missing out on. So,
Yeah,
no,
there's
go ahead.
There's this lady I'm doing a podcast with later, and she said this thing to me that was so I love it. We're talking about fear of like the fear that's running rampant in society right now around politics is kind of
Yes.
our conversation.
Yep.
And she was saying, yeah, everybody's asking like, what is my purpose? Why am I supposed to be here?
Uh-huh.
But what we should be asking is, where am I going and who am I going with?
True.
And I was like, "Oh, I really like that," because, like, where are we going? What are we doing? Where are we going?
Right.
And who are the people that we wanna take with us on this
Mhm.
ride? Who's worth
Yes.
grabbing onto and, like and tightening up that community of people that are worth investing our time and our energy in?
Yes. No, amen. I like that very much. That's actually, I think that's a great way to end the podcast.
Mm.
Um, Nikki, thank you for being on the Dreamcatcher podcast,
Yeah,
and, I wanna keep in touch, especially about that trip you're thinking about next
let's
year.
do it.
So that sounds very interesting. I'm intrigued by all what you're doing here, and I had never heard of Kambo. I had
Combo,
never heard
yeah.
that until we crossed paths. I find that very interesting too. So, but,
Mm.
I will let you go. Thank you for
Thank
joining us on the
you.
podcast, and you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Oh, thank you.